Goodness to you is Sporty King. And I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to that person who took their last breath on Thursday? Or any day before that, for that matter. So I use what I learned from Psalm 92:2. It is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. It is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Therefore, instead of using TGIF, I use TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus, I get to use what I learned through Matthew 6:34. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. And therefore, I offer first a different use of TGIF. That is, trusting God is free. Think about it. What does it cost to be blessed with the greatest gift of every day? Waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. Thus, if we move the T in TGIF from the front to the beginning, from the front to the end, we actually find out what we should be giving thanks to God for all the time. And that is the gift of life. So GIFT, God is for today. Gift Friday is my online sharing of one of my original poems and its possible uses to inspire audiences online or in person or in conversation or in your spirit. Each poem will be my gift to you. Here you hear me read and share this week's gift. And because I'm traveling this week, I'm doing something different. You'll see the poem, it's already downloaded in my feed. So feel free to pause after my first time reading. I'd rather you listen to me read it the first time and then download it. And then I'm going to have you join me in poetry class as I break the poem down. Now, this week's poem is from my book, I Found Out I'm Living, an affirmation of life, about the fact that when you surrender your physical life, your spiritual life gets so much more better, and you really find out just how alive you are. And the poem title asks, how far is the middle? How far is the middle? Have you run this race before? Do you know how to be a winner, or do you just know how to score? Our lives move forward at a pace set by words, where all things we're about to, getting ready to, thinking about doing, can get the last laugh when we put our breathing on hold to explain or justify indecision. How far is the middle? Have you run this race before? Do you know how to be a winner? You can fly or you can soar. See, when our lives are so cut and dry, black and white, hot or cold, we find ourselves surrounded by options that possess a new clarity, though we can't recognize or acknowledge it. A clarity that thirsts for connection, understanding, empathy, flexibility, joy, reward, trust, love. You know what I'm saying? How far is the middle? Have you asked him to keep your score? For you know how to be a winner. You can fly or you can soar. Our starting and ending points mean little. What we've done to get here is what counts. Let us be thankful for the experience, even the blessing to look back and see the lessons of life learned our way that shape us and help us to be. How close are you to God? Have you asked him to keep your score? For you know how to be a winner. You can fly or you can soar. The joke is that I was inspired to write this poem because a woman told me that we couldn't date because she was in the middle of a divorce. And in my mind, I asked her, how far is the middle? You're either interested or you're not. But don't jump all over the computer yet. I know she was just using a nice way to say no. And we stayed cool with one another. I told you she inspired the poem. It's not against her. So let me go back to my thought in writing this poem, which is about something that we really don't know. The answer to that question, how far is the middle? Using her relationship, think about it. When did the divorce really start? Not with the serving of the papers or or even the first discussion. Feelings had to change, be internally questioned and reconsidered, things noticed and overlooked, bounced off of someone you trusted, flashbacks and forecasts revisited, wedding vows recited. And when the paperwork is finalized, adjustments will have to be made in daily habits, living space reconsidered, comfort levels with mutual friends, reactions to seeing one another with another, gifts recategorized, flashbacks and forecasts revisited, the judge's final ruling recited. So not knowing where it began, who knows where it'll end? Who knows where it will end? Who knows where the middle really is? Now, using our lives, we commonly say we're in the middle of a storm or some situation when we actually don't know when it's going to end. Yet we believe it will. And that's what the poem is really about. As I mentioned, you're really going to have to go to poetry class with me on this one. You see, this is actually 3 poems in one. I'm traveling today, so I pre-recorded the video and dropped the poem in the feed so that you can check it out. So go on and put this on pause and get the poem and check it out with me right now, and we'll go through it. And I hope this works. Okay, now the real poem is about the middle stanza. You'll see it in color. It's 3 strips, 3 columns, and it's actually the poem rewritten in the first 2 columns with the main, what I consider the real poem over there in that third one. But I want you to see, so here's what it says. It says, see, our lives are so cut and dry. This is the middle stanza. When our lives are so cut and dry, black and white, hot or cold, we find ourselves surrounded by options that possess a new clarity, though we can't recognize or acknowledge it. A clarity that thirsts for connection, understanding, empathy, flexibility, joy, reward, truth, love. You know what I'm saying. Cut and dry, black and white, hot or cold is a life stuck in a box that is surrounded by all the beauty and color in our world. And the most important thing outside that box are the choices we can make to have those things we're missing when we allow someone else to shut our lives down. Connection, understanding, empathy, flexibility, joy, reward, trust, truth, love. When we allow someone to shut those things down, we're missing out on what we need to be celebrating. And the chorus melody of how far is the middle is used 4 times in the poem. Yet on the fourth time, it actually switches to how close are you to God? Have you asked him to keep your score? For you know how to be a winner. You can fly or you can soar. You see, the middle is not as important as your relationship with God. He knows where every storm started and where it'll end for you. So what you'll see is that is that the stanzas above and after that middle stanza can be read in reverse. So that's why it's in one color in the first column and a different color in the second column. And you'll see that those stanzas are actually reversed to make the poem. That becomes your second poem. Then taking the first three chorus melodies out to create your third and final poem, which reminds you to add it all up and know that you are a winner. Not only should you believe you can fly, you should believe that you can soar. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. Because you see, we know that this is the end of the week. I'm